Welcome back, everybody, to this week's edition of the Events Update live stream. We are fortunate to have Adam from Element Logic, or as you all may know from previous days, Abco Systems. We were going to have Seth on, and I think Seth does a lot of posting and talking and all sort of stuff in LinkedIn, but he got pulled away today. So we've got the backup pitcher. We've got Adam. Adam, you want to take a minute to introduce yourself to folks who don't already know you?
Of course, Adam Kishpaw, head of product in the Americas with Element Logic. Uh, 20 years managing warehouses, Macy's, Amazon, a couple of New Jersey startups, Rent the Runway and The RealReal. But spent a lot of time managing inbound and outbound processes in the warehouse. And after time came over to the consulting side to help support other warehouses or other customers walk the shoes that I've walked in, see how we can help them improve, which is why I landed at Abco Systems. Just great environment, looking an agnostic solution provider to be able to help the customer. And Nathan, you mentioned the recent Element Logic acquisition, which has transformed us into a whole new beast and whole new opportunities. Now we are a worldwide company. So a lot of great things have happened over the past few months.
Excellent. Can you kind of catch us up a little bit on why we're talking today? Like what y'all have got this trade show concept. I've not been, but I'm looking forward to attending for the first time this year. And while you're talking to it, I'll get to work pulling it up here.
Yeah. So on November 13th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we're having a trade show in our Carlstadt, New Jersey office. And the reason why we put this together is over the past few years, Abco and Element, we've been to trade shows, the Modex, the ProMats of the world, CSCMPs. And it's a great experience for folks to look and learn about what products are out at the industry. But also, if you're not local to those trade shows or you can't travel, there's budgets. We've got our 30,000 square foot warehouse here. We've got tons of great partners in the industry. So there was an idea 3 years ago that said, hey, we can do this ourselves. Let's invite some of our partners that we work with every day, set up a trade show, and folks can come on by and learn. Super casual. Over 30 vendors there. There's going to be, a live auto store demo, AMR demos, packaging, conveyance, pick to light. There's a whole bunch of solutions here. No matter what you're looking for, WMS systems, there's also a whole bunch here that can help out. It's a great opportunity and come to see some of the things that are out in the industry. And if there's things here that you're not looking for, we've got a team of professionals that our goal is to be able to learn everything out there in the industry and be that agnostic partner to help warehouses truly improve on what they're doing today.
Gotcha. So it looks like, just looking at the site, we've got a 9:30 a.m. start, 4 p.m. wrap up. And I think that I saw something about ribbon cutting associated with this, like it's a bit of a grand opening of something.
Yeah, so especially now that we've put a new auto store in here, being part of Element Logic, the world's first and largest auto store provider, great opportunity to have a local solution here for folks to come in and look out. So doing a ribbon cutting early in the morning, we're super excited about it. Kind of rebranding the showroom, moving everything from our old name over to our new name. So lots of excitement for the upcoming show.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's the ribbon cutting component of it, because you've done this a couple of times before, so it's not exactly the show itself being new, but the renovated showroom. Gotcha.
New names, new systems, and then also at 2 p.m. we actually have a live panel too with some leaders in the industry. So Shanann Newsom, our senior VP of Sales, is going to be leading the panel. It's the current and future state of logistics in the USA. So really excited to have that as well. We've got 4 folks from out in the industry, ranging from robotics to packaging to WMSs. So great opportunity to come hear what some of the providers are seeing in the industry to help learn about what's going on.
So also, I guess just a quick note for folks, it's a full day thing, and I don't think there's any cost to attend, if I saw that right.
Correct. No cost to attend. So again, would love to just have folks come on by, see the showroom, see some of the solutions out there. And if you don't know what you're looking for, happy to have conversations and brainstorm. We'll have a lot of our sales team in, our engineering team. So happy to sit down and just chat through what folks' operations look like.
Adam, like a quick funny story here is I attended my first pro mat like 10 years ago or something like that in Chicago. And walking in there was an auto store, like similar to what you've got set up there in your showroom. There's an auto store there on the floor, and I just saw it and it like blew my mind. And I was like, what kind of, I was like a young sort of like early on sort of logistics guy, and it just kind of like it just blew my mind that there's companies that would have these sorts of installations and that would handle their distribution. Like I hadn't been in those kind of environments yet. And then like if you fast forwarded like I don't know 7 or 8 years later, I was managing a DC that had a big installation of an auto store in it. I went from being that student at ProMat, seeing the bright, shiny objects to being one of those people managing one of those bright, shiny, cool objects. And then now get to go hang out with you all that have one, in your trade show, um,
And
in
the
your
other
showroom.
thing, and the other thing you mentioned about the ProMat and the Modex is like there's 1,500 vendors at their shows. You walk
Hmm.
in, it is overwhelming. So to have this smaller show here, a handful of vendors, great opportunity not to get overwhelmed and have those meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
But to your point, like you walk into those shows, there's these big shiny booths, so it's easy to get lost and not know what you're looking for. So we're trying to bring this down to a local level.
One of the things I'm finding this, I've really kind of stepped into the events and conferences space this year, and I'm realizing that there's so much value in the really big shows, the 30 to 50,000 people events, but there's actually, I think, to anybody's show sort of strategy, I think it's really smart to go to the smaller ones as well because you get to just drill down and build relationships to a much greater degree in smaller type of events. So I think it's healthy to have a little bit of both. I think so. Uh,
100%.
I've my appreciation for the summits and the forums and these sort of like more kind of direct to consumers sort of consumer type shows is I don't know, an important piece of the ecosystem, I think, for learning and educating uh, one's self on what's possible out there.
Agreed.
So we'll go ahead and dig in a little bit to like the other sort of bits and pieces here of the standard show. And Adam, I would invite you to kind of step in and comment wherever you see some opportunities here. Um, but before we get in too far, I'll just do a quick shout out to CSCMP for being one of the sponsors for this whole calendar of events. On their main page, they have a long list of all the upcoming roundtable events that take place all across the country. There's a lot of them, so go take a look. I do put some of them on the supply chain calendar of events, but not all of them, because if I did, I would have nothing but CSCMP events all throughout my calendar. So, but everything we're going to talk about here in the next few minutes is available on the supply chain events calendar, which is kind of like an aggregated sort of buffet of events that are going on throughout the supply chain industry. So let's take a quick look. This week we've got ATAs hosting their management conference and exhibition in San Diego. That starts today, Monday, and then Informs has their annual meeting going on. That is in Atlanta. And then ICPA, which stands for the International Compliance Professionals Association, is hosting a full week conference here in Grapevine, here in DFW. I'm going to go stop by and say hi to them later on this evening. And then tomorrow, the DFW Cargo Association is hosting their fall golf tournament. That's here in DFW as well. Out on the East Coast, the Broker Carrier Summit Fall Summit is getting together in Orlando starting on Tuesday. Uh, we've got back over at ATA in the San Diego side. We've got the Supply Chain Beach Volleyball. It's actually called the Logistics Volleyball League. It's a friend of mine called Peter, and he's kind of got this thing where they pop up volleyball tournaments around the country. And so that'll be taking place in San Diego. And as you can tell, somewhat conveniently situated next to the ATA conference as well. Then kind of just wrapping up the last two things here I've got for the week is Deliver going on in Las Vegas. This is their third instance of this event here in Vegas, here in the US. And I'm going to be out there talking to folks, getting coverage, and just kind of like capturing the energy of the show out in Las Vegas. That's on Wednesday and Thursday. And then also on Wednesday, here closer to home, the CSCMP Houston chapter is hosting a Women Leading the Future of Supply Chain Innovation panel there in Houston. And then, of course, Friday is Halloween. Adam, what's going on in your neck of the woods this week, next week? Between now and your event on the 13th.
Yeah, so between now and the show, a lot of customer visits. With the
Okay.
end of the year coming, Q4, not a lot of folks looking to make major changes, but a lot of it is planning for 26 and budgets. So understanding, as always, what can we do to improve our warehouse operations, cut costs, the layouts forever changing. Real estate cost is going up, labor cost is going up. So everybody trying to offset. So a lot of it is planning for 26 and budgets. And right now's the time because folks are busy. It's Q4, typical seasonal businesses. They're rolling into their peak season right now. So they're going to see what their headaches are, see what their challenges are. So it's a great time to get on the ground with the customers, which I think over the next 2 weeks, I've got 3 or 4 visits, which we're always happy to do. Visit a customer's warehouse, walk with them, understand the challenges, and then bring those solutions to the forefront. So super happy to partner with them. And again, I've lived and walked a day in the life. So continue to do it, continue to help.
That's cool. I can appreciate that. Been there, done that sort of concept when I'm talking to somebody.
Yep.
So a couple things here then on just where I will be. So as I mentioned a while ago, I'll be out in Las Vegas this week for Deliver. And then just a few days before your trade show, the Women in Trucking Conference is being hosted here in DFW. And this will be my first time to attend. And so I was able to get a badge to get in there for one day, just go check it out. So I'm really excited to see what that show is all about. Definitely, I spend a little bit more time on the warehousing and distribution side of the industry than I do on the transportation side. And so this is helping me try to kind of keep my roots here in transportation going as well. And then, as mentioned, on November 13th, they're in Carlstadt, New Jersey for your show. A quick reminder to folks that when I am traveling and this week when I'm in Las Vegas, you'll be able to go to the Where's Nathan tracker on Sergier's website to find and pinpoint exactly where I am if you want to catch up there in Las Vegas. And then a quick note for those who may have not heard or seen, I have spots available still to contribute a story to my book, Supply Chain Storytime. Again, it's just one pagers. I'm trying to get 50 total, and we're at about 50% subscribed right now. So we got about 25 spots left. Really excited to get this. I'm not sure I'm going to get it all done by the holidays. That was the original goal, but we'll see, for stocking stuff or supply chain story time. But